Okay, so we're talked about process over goals, and that's easier said than done. So how do we make things easier done than said? That's the real question. In Paul's group, Storytopia University, somebody was asking about this idea that, is it, if they don't find it easy to quantify things, what is it that, I know that traditionally people talk about goals need to be measurable, concrete, and all that. An easy time with that. My challenge, and the things I've had a harder time, is the things that aren't so easy to quantify, which can be sometimes more important. It's really not a thing of either or, which is what we tend to do because it's easier, in our limited ways. Things like feeling good, things like, happiness, love, joy, fulfillment, contentment. These are things that, like, business goals and all these kinds of things have a hard time with. It's because we can't measure them. But really often that's what we want. Daniel Laporte talks about it's the things behind the things that we get, whether it's success, money, the material things. It's the feeling of or the result of what getting those things are that we really want. And that's the thing that it isn't really one or the other. It's really about finding the balance between the two. That's the challenge, and that's the part, because it seems like they're contradictory. It's like the thing of, like, are liberals better or are conservatives better and all that. And I would argue that, you can argue till all day which one's better, because in different circumstances, different approaches are better. I mean, that's just how it is. So, is a hammer good for a nail? Sure, but is a hammer good for cutting through wood? Not really, so what's the best tool? It's the tool that helps you get the job done. And I think that's the same thing with approaches different times and process. Process is not about like any one thing that is better about getting something done. It's finding a means to the end. That's really the thing about process over goals, and tools for that matter. Another simpler way to put it is, if you have the time, you can afford to go to somewhere like Costco and basically get everything you need. But often, I find that for me personally, I go to like Trader Joe's for like certain items, and I'll go to like a more general supermarket for other items to stock up. And that's really the way I look at different times, taking the best from different approaches, is finding out what is it that works in a different approach, different system, and then applying it to what I want to ultimately achieve. And that's really what it is, because at the end of the day, you don't care where you get all your groceries from. You just care that you save money, you got tasty, healthy food, and you are able to make meals that you enjoy. I mean, that's really how it is with life. At different times, it's a matter of, ultimately, we want to live a rich, fulfilling life. We don't care, well, we do care to the degree of, who we involve in our lives, what we bring into our lives, and ultimately, we all want less hassle and more of the awesomeness, right?